Hey, Blake, how quickly did this come together, and were there any serious considerations from other to maybe go to another team?
It's been a dialogue off and on from the beginning of the offseason, just the Dodgers, letting us know that they're interested. And obviously it's been a slow market across the league. But for the most part, it happened probably in the last couple of weeks fairly quickly. And then to the other point, there was a handful of other teams that were pretty aggressive and, wanting to sign me. And, the Dodgers checked all the boxes on things that we were looking for. So we ended up coming back. It's a great organization. I had such a blast with the players and with the staff members, and my family really enjoyed being in LA. So we're excited to be back.
Blake, you had talked about last year how the Dodgers helped you get healthy, A, and then B, you felt like they got you back to maximum performance. Was that a big part of why you decided to come back on top of winning the World Series?
Well, I think anytime the best team in baseball wants to sign you, it's a blessing. And there's obviously in the back of my mind that they know me from last year. We were able to work on things and get to a better point to even be better this year. So very very excited to be back with the Dodgers. And part of that did play in the back of my mind. But it's just the quality of people, the information and the ability to get me into a point where I can compete and do the things that the Lord's blessed me with. That was a huge part too. Yes.
Next question is from Bill Plunkett. Go ahead, Bill.
Hey, Blake, you mentioned how slow the market has been this winter. What was it like experiencing that? Did things go much differently than you expected heading into it?
Honestly, I didn't really think much about the market. I feel like God's really blessed my family more than we could have ever imagined, and it'd be pretty crazy if there was a scenario where a team wasn't necessarily interested in me. I feel like that'd be pretty bad for baseball, just like it would be bad for baseball if somebody wasn't interested in, Brad Hand or Liam Hendricks or, these other relievers that are out there, Trevor Rosenthal. So it's like, I wasn't worried. I knew we'd probably have a job. It's just a matter of where and what the details were going to be. And, whatever the market dictates, you can't change it a ton. And we were really happy with just the opportunity to sign back with the Dodgers.
Did you have any expectation or hope that someone might come along and say, look, Blake, we want you to be our closer and make an offer based on that?
I'll tell you what, I thoroughly enjoy just throwing in meaningful innings and getting big outs. And the Dodgers gave me every opportunity to do that last year. So obviously closing is an iconic role. You really enjoy having that opportunity to be a closer. I would always invite being a closer, but I also really enjoy winning, and being on that team with LA was phenomenal because everybody just wanted to win and do what it took. And we understood our roles. They were very open and dialogue with us from top to bottom. And, my goal is just to continue to be there for that organization when they need me.
How are you approaching the season? What are your expectations as far as when you're going to report and what kind of a season we're going to have?
I honestly haven't put too much thought into it. I feel like we should have a full season. You look across other sports, NFL's had a full season. You just kind of go with the flow, right? It's like anything else in this life. There's going to be bumps along the way, and you just kind of deal with it. And, the players across the league last year, we did a great job policing, how we go about our business. The season finished. I see NCAA sports, they travel all across the country and they get tested, I don't know, maybe once every 3 days. And that's just from what I've heard. I don't know if that's true, but if they can travel all the way across the country at the NCAA level, I'd imagine that major sports could be able to travel all the way across the country without a shortened season or a regulated schedule that keeps you on one side of the coast. And, I think looking at just the data that's been collected from, just players who have contracted it or, how we've been able to handle it, there's really no basis to shorten a season, in my opinion. So I'm fully anticipating that the players in the league will do the right thing and have a full season. and we'll compete at a level that gives fans something to look at for 162 as opposed to a shortened season.
Thanks, Blake.
Yep.
Next question's from Jorge Castillo. Go ahead.
Hey, Blake, you mentioned Liam Hendricks. You were a teammate of his. Have you tried to recruit him?
No, I'm not in. Look, I'm a reliever. I'm not Mike Trout or Nolan Arenado or Mookie Betts or anybody who's, these mainstay names that'll be in households for decades to come. I'm a reliever trying to do the best I can with the ability I've been given, and I'm not worried about the Dodgers are going to do their own thing, whether they want to recruit him or not. He's a phenomenal talent. I think anybody would invite having him on the team. So he's going to do what's best for his family, and that's all I'm going to worry about.
And you mentioned just the Dodgers helping you get better. Where in particular do you think you got better or rebounded, I guess, in 2020?
I just think just getting back on track. I don't know if it was necessarily getting better. It was more or less like, hey, here's your strengths. Here's how you accomplish those strengths. And as opposed to maybe lucking into some mechanic things over the years and understanding now, like the science side of things, like why does my body work better in these positions? And that's kind of what they brought to the table, was maybe the moving patterns that allow me to be more free and have success at the plate.
Thank you.
Next question's from Eric Steven. Go ahead.
Blake, just wondering, you went through the off season last year as a free agent, got a 1-year deal. Was it important to get a multi-year deal this time around, or you were just sort of taking the best offer?
I think anytime you have the ability to somewhat control your market, you want to do the best you can. And it's not just like, I don't think it's chasing money. I think it's just security is nice. Knowing where you're going to be for the next few years is always a nice perk. So, as many years as we could have got was the goal. And, the Dodgers were great with working with us. So I'm really, really thankful to Andrew and the ownership for making this happen.
Next question's from JP Hoornstra. Go ahead, JP.
Yeah, Blake, last year was your third trip to the postseason, and I'm wondering, when you compare the previous teams that you've played for, like how much of a difference did it make having yourself and Kenley and Joe Kelly, Gratterall, like several quality back of the bullpen relievers who can close if need be, in terms of just helping a team win the World Series?
I mean, I don't mean this in a disrespectful way, but it's pretty obvious. You speak, if you have talent helps. And if you have guys who've been battle tested like Kenley and Joe and, multiple other people on that team, it's like, it only helps that much more. So yeah, their ability speaks for itself, and having the experience really, really helps. So that's why I felt like as a unit, we were able to throw as many innings as we did and have success to, let our offense work and our starters just feel confident about whenever they were done with their starts.
And speaking of the season, I know there are a lot of uncertainties, but how careful are you going to be about not ramping up your your workload and your innings, and being mindful of that coming off of a pandemic shortened season?
I think it's one thing that I'm assuming most of us, I approached it last year as, even when we went home from spring training, I'm going to throw 2 or 3 bullpens and make them heavy. So that way this year isn't affected by a shortened season. So, I know it was only 60 games, regular season, and then the playoffs, but in my mind, I had a workload, granted it wasn't taxed like against hitters, big league hitters, but I was throwing to kids at the community college. I was throwing, heavy bullpens, trying to make sure that this season doesn't take a hit because of last season. And so it'll be interesting to see how it plays out this year. I'm not really concerned about a workload issue. I think the Dodgers do a great job, and I'm fully prepared to throw as many innings as I need to, because I think the organization did a great job of saying, hey, look, we need to do the best we can prepare, not just for this year, but for next year.
Thank you.